Like, there needs to be something out of
you,
it.
he shouldn't just tell you, oh yeah, like quit your job now, and then you just do it. Like, of course, he has to give you some sort of reasoning behind. Why he
so she
thinks
said
But
that.
what if you as a woman just said, you know what, let me look at other jobs that are more female, like that are work with women more.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that...
It's all about negotiation.
Well, if you don't care about your job, then fine. Do you know what I mean? Change it. Go and work in hairdressers.
But I think it just goes back to like what matters to her. Is it the man or the job? What's more important? Is it the family or the job?
Isn't that one a little bit tricky though? Because if he says, "Oh, there's all these other dudes in the office, so I'm not happy with that," is there a danger that's going to make him look a little bit insecure,
and
or a little bit
well.
needy? Do you know what I mean? Like, because if he was like the apex alpha, wouldn't he just say, "Well, I don't care about these other dudes"?
Exactly.
Like the men in this scenario we're talking about.
Yeah, but how many men do you know is leaving their wife just because they got a promotion though? Like,
what I'm saying. I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's nuance to it. I'd have to, it would all depend on the context of the situation. If he didn't like the people that I was around and he gave good reason for it, then like it's fine. But I guess maybe a little bit if it was just completely unjustified. He had no idea what I was like at work.
This is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, so I would need reasoning. It's not like I'd just go, okay, I'm going to quit tomorrow. Like, but I know that I wouldn't pick a guy that wouldn't be able to give me a logical explanation.
I think that the logical reason of like, oh, you're going to have to work an extra 15 hours a week, that is solid, because he's like, no, I don't want you doing that. I want you, here with us, look after the kids. Whatever.
I think the work husband is solid too. You don't need marriages end in divorce because of work husbands.
No, I get it. No, so completely. I'm just saying, from a woman's point of view, though, could that not come across as being a little bit needy? Because she's like, well, hang on a minute.
Most women would take that as needy. I don't think that mindset is common.
Yeah, but Paul, how many women stay in relationships because they have a work husband?
Oh my god! I know this is random, but there was
there needs to be a match.
What's your story? Go ahead.
It wasn't me specifically, but this guy at my old workplace, he literally slept with all the members in the gym just to keep his classes popular, like his fitness classes popular. But he tried to control the situation and say to the women, these married women, let's just keep it between us. So he was the work husband, not for one, but for all those ladies in that fitness class.
So he was a community.
But the day he got snitched on and people started complaining, he got fired.
Well, yeah.
So the work husband, this was like work husband on steroids. He was everybody's work husband. Like, unreal.
No, but relationships do stay together if the woman is satisfied, right?
Define satisfied.
Oh, so you're saying she cheats with the husband at work and gets what she needs from him and then goes home to the other husband?
Yeah, so she doesn't need to leave. So how many relationships have stayed because of the work husband as opposed to left because of the work husband?
70% of women have to finish themselves off. So, I mean, it makes
Wait,
sense.
what? What's the...
70%.
Don't give me what do you call it? Statistics, man.
Okay.
70%.
What do they go in the bedroom and check?
Like after they've had sex with their partner, because like not a lot of, only 30% of women can come from penetration, they then end up having to finish themselves off because they've already pleased their husband or their partners. So 70% of women tend to please themselves after,
So
These surveys are always so one-sided. It's like, what if they asked the men about how the women were in bed? You know
men, I mean...
Technically, I please myself anyway.
Wait, what? What? How?
Too much information.
Because I'm doing the work, innit? I'm pleasing myself. You're not doing nothing. I'm doing it. So I'm pleasing myself.
She's on top, though?
Is that why people divorce? It's because they're not pleasing each other in the bedroom?
Do you think do you think that's a valid reason for divorce? Your husband's not good at sex.
You should know that before you get married, to be fair.
Let's just say his game went downhill after.
Yeah. What if like people obviously they believe in no sex before marriage, and then when they get married they're like, oh my, what is this?
But
how would they know?
They got nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, and
I think it is a reason for divorce actually, because I saw, and this is a bad quoting of stats here, but I saw something just the other day saying that actually falls in male libido are one of the key reasons why marriages end, because the guy goes off sex, the woman's not getting satisfied, then all of a sudden she's like, hang on a minute, what's this? And, you know, and then the marriage breaks up. So I reckon it is actually a factor.
I think
if she's not getting satisfied sexually.
They make it too strategic. So in her head, she's like, all right, let's do this. I'm going to have sex once a week. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really built like that as a man. Like, sometimes the breeze might blow and I'm like, you know, I'm active now. She's like, no, we already done it. So it's like, I've got into the routine of getting it once a week. So it's like, becomes more of a routine for me as opposed to like.
Yeah, but that's the problem with cohabiting, though, isn't it? Living
just once a week.
I was waiting for there to be a pause. Like,
once a week.
Yo, that's a lot for some people.
Is that a reason to contribute to a couple divorcing?
No, I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be. But I'm just saying, I reckon it probably is. Because again, it's all about feels, isn't it?
Well, that's why Viagra is like.
That's why you get into a relationship in the first place.
Don't they even have ads in America on
TV?
It's not just the.
Would you stick out a sexless marriage for your children?
Yeah.
No.
Well, there's lots of ties. I mean,
no.
There's lots of ties. Maybe I don't know.
Like, yes or no?
Yeah.
You would stick it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 3 others.
But you wouldn't stick out cheating?
No.
Isn't a sexless marriage worse than cheating? At least you're good.
I'm married. I wasn't married.
Okay,
no, different. I wasn't married.
But if you were
before.
married, you would have stuck out the cheating.
Well, yeah, it would have been harder for me to just be like, okay, we're not doing this anymore.
Okay, fair. Go ahead.
Is that how you said it? Huh? Is that how you said it?
A sexless marriage, but then you're going to be frustrated all the time. Then you'll start projecting that stress and that frustration on people. You have to get it
no.
on. Oh no.
No, you wouldn't stick it out.
Stick out.
You wouldn't stick out a sexless marriage for the kids, or wait till the kids are older.
Oh, but
so you got a 5-year-old.
You can do tantra. There's so many other ways that you can. Penetration is like probably the least element of for a woman's sex life.
One.
I think it's dependent on the reasons why. You know, like if it's due to like medical issue or like busyness or something like that, I feel like that's workable. But if it's due to like a complete lack in like attraction for your partner, and I don't really think that's, you know.
Okay, so no.
It depends.
Okay. So let's say he just has a low sex drive now.
A low sex drive. I mean, yeah, I would say.
You'd stick it out.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Would you stick it out, Amiri?
Yeah, of course.
He's got 4.
With his 3 other wives.
There's a reason why I'm low. You get me?
I got 4.
I'll stick it out.
You'd stick it out?
Yeah, it depends how long for though.
The rest of your life?
No, of course not. What's the point?
Innit?
Yeah.
I found out the most interesting stat. I want to pull it up. The sexless marriage is very different by age. So it's like of people married over 70, 54% are sexless. So if you make it to 70, you're probably half are sexless. And then it's like 60 to 90 is 38%. And then 50 to 59 is 22%. And married people 40 to 49, 8%. So it's like very much dependent on age.
Yeah, but isn't that how it's meant to go though? Because like as you get older, it becomes more of a companionship deal, and you know.
Yeah.
I get probably.
Also, your body is less.
You can't really
be
bothered. I've also heard that like nursing homes have the worst STD rates.
Yeah.
How?
They're getting
Girl, because you're putting a bunch of people in a home that.
What else have you got to do? You know?
Flick the bean.
Wow.
Flick the bean.
No one's got to worry about getting pregnant as well, so that's why they don't strap up.
Oh my God.
That's true. It's dry out
So
here.
it just spreads.
Probably they just forgot to strap up. Since then.
Yeah. What do they do in those homes?
Have sex.
Apparently have lots of sex.
Have sex and get STDs. Yeah. But where did they go?
I can't imagine an 87-year-old.
Start
Joe
from?
Biden, do you reckon he's still...
Huh?
Joe Biden, do you reckon he's...
Is he not
still having it?
Having it?
I don't think...
What's the statistical probability?
I've never thought of that question.
She's like, and I don't want to.
It's 50-50 apparently. Because what is he, like 70?
Yeah.
70?
He looks about 90.
I don't think he's awake enough for the time.
Mate,
to be honest.
70. Joe Biden can't be 70.
Yeah.
Sleepy Joe ain't getting down.
He's 70 something.
Like 80?
No, he's 70 something, I think.
Yeah, 70 something.
How old is Trump? I swear
He's
he's older
also
than
in
Trump.
his 70s as well.
Trump's 74,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Joe Biden's older than Trump.
Yeah.
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 So,
Sleepy Joe.
yo, Sleepy Joe gets active though.
Do you guys think that the fact that 50% of women are projected to be single and childless reflects the quality of the men or the quality of the women?
The quality of the women. Because men obviously hold the access to relationships. So at the end of the day, like, if it's turning out that 50% of us are going to be single and childless by, I think it's like 30.
2030.
Yeah. Well, that obviously says that we're not doing something right, because that is scary. That's so sad.
Isn't that crazy? That's 50% of us.
So depressing.
Not you.
Not me.
Yeah, 50% of us in the room will be single and childless by 2030.
It's a cold world out there,
That
guys.
is-
So much so that like big banks are investing in cat food, boxed wine, like all the things that come with single women.
Thanks for telling me I'm going to invest. Stocks.
What do you think? Is it the quality of the men or the quality of the women?
I think the quality of choices of the women.
Okay, expand on that.
Well, even my choice to be a single parent, you know, if technically I could be a single lady with cats, so I'll still be buying cat food, won't I, and drinking wine. I might have kids with me, but I mean, I think that young women need to make better choices, 100 logical choices, and actually just think ahead, like you were saying earlier, like the quick gratification. Like, I never used to like think further than what I needed in that moment. So it's like and how I communicate with my daughter now is very different to how my mum communicated with me. So I think just choices, because your choices that you make now are going to affect your life for the rest of your life. Well, when you're young.
What would you do differently if you could go back?
To 16?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have my children. I wouldn't have had my daughter at 16, 100%, because it wasn't the best choice for her. It wasn't the best choice because I made that choice for myself. I was like, I'm going to be a mum to this little girl. And with my son, I wouldn't have been with his dad the fourth or fifth time he cheated on me. So, yeah, I would have made better choices because I was in a very cycle, like, oh, he'll stop eventually. And so, yeah, I would have made better choices over the partners that I was choosing. Not necessarily like not have my children, but just with better partners.
What would you have done differently in the relationships?
Not been a complete psychopath. No, just, I was not the easiest of partners to be with. And so, I would have left, because the more I stayed with my son's dad, the more angry I got and the more resentful I got. And so we were just arguing all the time. He could breathe. Just his breathing annoyed me at one point because I just resented him so much. But it was my choice to stay there. So if I had chosen not to stay there, then I wouldn't have,
Amiri, did you have something you want to say? Because you just...
grunting over there.
It's very like weird for me to speak it because it's obviously it's very real, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's my life.
Exactly. And you know, like sometimes when people say like I wouldn't change a thing because of how things are right now. So are you saying that you're not in the situation you want to be in now?
No, my children are not in the situation that is the best for them, because both of my children are at a statistical disadvantage. I know that now.
Yeah, but forget about statistical disadvantage, because say for example, you're more statistical advantage to go to jail if you're from a single parent family. We know this, right? Or there's other statistics. But I'm saying that doesn't necessarily mean that your child has to go to jail.
No, I'm not saying it does, but that she's saying go back and do it differently. And so, of course, if I know that, you know what, being a single parent isn't the best idea for my daughter, who has never had a father in her life at all, because he told me to either have an abortion or stay with him. And so I chose my baby over him. And so in hindsight, of course, I would want my daughter to get both parents there loving her equally. Like, of course, why wouldn't I want that for my daughter? I want her to be whole and not feel like she's somehow isn't because her father doesn't want her. So, like, of course, I would choose that for her.
So are you saying that you're incapable of finding someone that would look after your daughter?
She's 19. She's an adult.
So then, what do you need to rewind the world for? Like,
Because she asked me the question.
No, I'm saying in terms. Okay.
I'm not rewinding anything.
If someone asks me, if I could go back in time, would I not do something that would affect the situation that I'm in right now? If I say that I would regret it, that means obviously what I'm going through now, I want to change.
No, what my children, not me, because.
But what about you though? Then.
So he's asking if you would change it because you're not happy with the situation you're in now.
Not for me personally, because I love both of my children. Like the situation that I'm in with my children, I would never change it without a shadow of a doubt. But for my children, if I could go back and make better choices, 100%.
What about you though?
She's trying to say she doesn't regret her kids because she loves her kids.
Yeah. But what about you though?
Well, of course, for me, it would be easier if I was in a 2-parent household as well. Of course, making better choices as I was younger, choosing to not be a parent at 16 and having to live on my own at 16. Of course, that would have been a better decision to not do it. Like, who wants to be 16 while all your friends are going off, going out, having relationships? I was at home on my own with a little girl, having to work out what to do with it because I was 16 and I didn't know what I was doing with myself. So of course, like, there's no 16-year-old that I would say, yeah, this will be a great idea to make this life-changing decision that's also going to hurt the child. And like,
but I could say on the other hand, then now you're 35, you're still pretty young, and your children are old enough to do their own thing. So now you pretty much got your whole rest of their life to yourself. 100%. Whereas if someone
but we've been better together.
But sometimes you never know.
If I had chosen a better partner, so even if I had had a child at 16, but I had chosen a partner that wanted a child with me and wanted to have a baby, and we brought that child up together, that would have been a better choice. It was still my choice. He said, I don't want this kid. I don't want it. I'm never going to have, and he stuck to his word and he's never had anything to do with my daughter. So that was my choice. So I'm taking accountability for my choices because we create I've created a trauma in my daughter the moment I chose for her to have an absent father. And so, I mean, for anybody to say, I don't want to change that, for me would be, I'm like, why? Why wouldn't you want to change that?
You were 16 though. I mean, come on. I mean, that's like a child, isn't it?
I was a child. Even looking back, I'm like when my daughter's 19 now, and I can't even imagine her holding I was in Iraq actually by that point. So I was in Iraq and I had a 3-year-old child.
What's Iraq?
She was in the military.
I was in the military for 6 years.
Iraq. I thought you said Iraq.
No, Iraq. It's not Iraq.
But sometimes you never know with life. Like with these 2 kids, you never know what's going to happen. Like, what if, like, in 5 years, one, makes this business idea, and they're like this genius, and they have like this multi-millionaire.
They are amazing
you never
children.
know with
Yeah,
life.
but just because it had a good outcome,
that's an anomaly, though. Like,
just because it had a good outcome, it didn't mean it didn't affect them growing up.
Yeah,
the amount of money I've had to spend on therapy for my daughter, the amount of presence that I have to have, especially because then I went in the military as well, so I double whammied it. Make her have because leaving a child at 1 year old to go off to the military obviously isn't great either, and so. It doesn't matter how they turn out, the journey to get to the end of it is still a lot harder for my daughter than it would be if she had, I'm sure for used to having your father there, like when you've got a problem or a boy's pissed you off, you can call your dad. My daughter doesn't have that. She has to have my fucking advice. I'm like, my brothers.
It's some, I mean, I knew my dad and I was with my dad and I didn't have that kind of relationship with him.
But you're a boy, it's different for you as well.
You say so. I mean, I wanted a relationship that was a bit deeper than it was.
Both my brothers say that about my dad. They wish they had a deeper relationship.
I wish. Anyway, he's passed away, man. Forget. It's too late.
But that's my point. So absence, even in that, there was elements of for you that you needed more of. My daughter doesn't have any of. So that I wish she can never it's not going to ever happen. So it's still a element of pain that she has to deal with, and not because of her, but because of me.
All right, let me give you some nuance. So now that I've I know what a dad is like because I've grew up with a dad in the household. Now I am the image of my dad because that's what I saw, as opposed to I didn't have an image, so I wouldn't know what to base myself on. Because as a dad, you'd be very instrumental or you imprint. I wouldn't say an exact copy, but a lot of men become like their dads.
Blueprint, yeah. But at the same time, isn't that even more a reason to, like, if my son didn't have his father, and if anyone ever got to speak to, I'm like on it. I'm like militant about how much time, and even if Ethan's trying to chat back, I don't argue with my son. My son's dad has to deal with the conflict in that situation. But imagine if he didn't have that there, he is eventually going to seek that out outside of my house. Mm-hmm. And it might not be a good blueprint that he then starts to emulate.
Yeah.
What do you think about, let me repeat the question, about women being single and childless? By 2030, 50% of women are projected to be single and childless. Do you think that's does that speak to the quality of the women or the quality of the men?
Is that to me?
No, we'll get to you.
I think I remember there was this class in secondary school. It was called Life Skills.
Okay.
And we would touch this topic. And they were just, they taught us about, what do they call it? Oh my God. As soon as I want to talk about having a dating coach, he just walks out the room. How ironic. Like having like a coach for your marriage or your relationships, or even a dating coach, like just enlightening you and making you more aware. But to say like either one of like female or male, like 50% of them being childless and single, I think it's about education, just educating yourself about what a healthy relationship is.
How would you educate yourself? So if you're in Naomi's situation where she has never seen a functioning relationship, how would she do that?
You go to, what do they call it? It's like a mentor, like a relationship mentor, or like
at 16?
a life coach.
At 16?
Yeah, you can get a life coach.
Do life coaches are they typically married, happy with a family and kids?
Sometimes.
No.
Typically.
Mm-hmm.
They're typically like 50-year-old women who've been divorced for
it'll
10
be me.
years. And I'm
Do you know what?
not taking dating advice from them.
Did you know there's an influencer? Her name is, can I say her name?
Yeah,
I might as well. Her name is Bianca Taylor. She's a life coach and personal trainer. And her boyfriend, now fiance, cheated on her twice, and she stuck it through.
I mean,
and they saw not a life coach, like a marriage, like a relationship coach, and they worked through it.
But I feel like, okay, they're outsourcing families. Like, you're supposed to be able to go to your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents to get wisdom about relationships. Yeah. And now it's like all the things that you're supposed to do with your family, they outsource. Yeah. So now you're speaking to a stranger that doesn't have your best interest at heart. And, you know, in Naomi's situation, what else is she supposed to do? It might be a good option, you know? I mean, at 16.
That's why my daughter had therapy it was damn expensive, but £60 a week so that she had a good, not just any therapist, a good therapist that was going to be able to give her that grandmotherly advice